What's in your fridge? Chef Mark Schneider with the TSTC Culinary Arts Department has got a family staple for us today, beef stroganoff. In my family, this is like a go-to meal.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, I love beef stroganoff. So what have you already started for us today?
Well, we started ground beef, and again, I always say you can change it with chicken or turkey, whatever you like to do. We've added onions, mushrooms, salt, pepper, and a little bit of thyme.
Okay.
And we just cooked that till it got brown. And then what we want to do is we want to kind of drain the fat.
Okay. You would have a hard time convincing me to do this with anything other than beef. It's so good with beef.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Drain that off. And we've already browned that and softened the mushrooms. So it's
That's correct. So all the onions are nice and soft, all the mushrooms are nice and soft. Now, what we don't want to do is we don't really want to wipe out this pan at this point because we're going to make a really nice tasty roux.
Okay.
Which is a thickening agent of equal parts butter and flour. So if you can hand me the butter.
And so you want some of that leftover flavor from the meat in there.
I do. All this pan has great flavor in it. And if you could turn my heat up a little bit since you're right there.
Okay, I am right here.
All the way. Let's just jam it up.
Oh, I think it is all the way up. Is it? Oh,
it is
no.
now.
It is now. I was looking at the wrong direction.
We need to get this butter melted.
Get that going. You know it's going to be good when it's got this much butter in it. It's actually not that much better. I've
seen some chefs use like oil for their roux, but really you want the flavor of the butter.
Yeah.
At this point, it's almost there, so let's go ahead and add the flour.
Okay.
And we're just going to stir this in to make a nice, even mixture. That butter will absorb all that flour. You want to make sure we cook it a little bit. If you don't cook your roux, sometimes it'll come out a little grainy, and that's just because we haven't cooked the flour.
Okay.
Now once we have...
How do you tell when it is cooked and when it's ready?
About 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
About 3 minutes to 5 minutes, depending on your heat level. We're going to say it's 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're faking it today. Sorry.
And then we're
going
to go ahead and add the, we can add the tomato paste.
Wrong thing? Okay.
It's really hard to go wrong. So we'll add the tomato paste in. And then we're going to add the beef broth. And this is going to be homemade beef broth. It could be canned beef broth. If you're using canned, just watch your salt. If you're using homemade, you got to add salt.
Okay. This is beef stroganoff to me. It's just such a comfort food.
It is.
It's so great if it's chilly outside, or I don't know. This is one of my favorite meals to have beef stroganoff.
This is one of my wife's and son's favorite
Really?
meals right here. They'll do beef stroganoff all year long.
It is.
And
so
this one's a
delicious.
really quick one. You don't have to use ground beef. If you want to use like a nice tenderloin cut or a steak cut, you can definitely do that. It's just we tend to have ground beef ready to go, and I like to know what's for dinner and what's in your cupboard.
What's easy, yeah.
Okay, so that's all we want to do is kind of bring this to a simmer.
Break all that up in there.
Break it all up.
The tomato paste is what's different. I haven't put that in mine
That's
before,
right.
but I'm excited to get to try that and add a little bit more flavor.
That is going to add color and flavor. To this, we're going to add the meat right back.
I think beef stroganoff is so neat too because everybody has kind of their own recipe for it, but
That's
this
right.
one looks delicious.
I've seen people put a little red wine in this as well. You can put a little red wine if you like that. Now, all we need to do is bring this up to a simmer.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're gonna turn it immediately off, and then we're gonna add our sour cream in.
All right.
And the reason we don't want to, if we could just turn this off, because we're getting some simmering going.
Okay.
Is the sour cream will actually break. It'll separate.
Ah.
And so what we don't want to do is have that happen. It doesn't look very pretty. But as long as you're not simmering, you can see that nice, beautiful white color coming in, the traditional beef stroganoff. And then we're going to serve immediately.
Terrific. And serve this with egg noodles.
Oh, yeah. In
And
fact,
that's what's traditional, right?
we've got a plate for you right here. The egg noodles, a little salad.
You're going to have a hard time tearing me away from this one. I love beef stroganoff. We've got the recipe for this beef stroganoff online at momseveryday.com.